Hi everybody and welcome to Heel Heat. My name is George Coles, and on this episode we're doing a top 10. Topic of this top 10, what did The Rock give Cody Rhodes? And as you may guess, this is probably not going to be serious at all. Well, it's definitely not going to be serious at all. If you watched Raw on Monday night, the night after WrestleMania, you would have seen the show started with The Rock and Cody Rhodes talking with each other. The Rock hands him something while he's doing a handshake, and he says, I know you can feel what that is, but they never reveal what it is. So I thought to myself, it'd be fun to make a guess, and these are just silly guesses. More things that I find funny. With that being said, this list isn't going to be like a super, oh, this is the most important or least important. Basically, I gave it a number just to give it a number. We're going to start off with number 10, a Green Lantern ring. Much like in Green Lantern lore, when one Green Lantern dies or goes down, they have to pass their ring on to another. So it is possible that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has secretly been a Green Lantern over the WWE Universe for this whole time, and now he's passing that mantle on to Cody Rhodes, which, as you can see, I'm not being serious at all with any of this. That would be my number 10 thing I think he may have gave him. Go from that, our number 9, a literal rock. The Rock gave him a rock. And I'm not talking about a rock like a diamond, I'm talking about like a stone, a rock, something you would find in your garden or down by a riverbed. Makes sense, symbolizes who he is. Cody Rhodes gives him a memento. Just my opinion. Go from that, our number 8, a promise ring. A lot has been said about the weird tension between the two, and this is going to be based off of that part of the story. In my head, The Rock gave him a promise ring to promise that they're going to be together forever, I guess. Makes sense. That's why I put it at my number 8. I'll go from that, our number 7. An airplane bottle of Terramina tequila. If you don't know what that is, that's The Rock's brand, and I don't know if I'm even pronouncing it right, but he promotes the heck out of it all over his social media. What would be a better way to promote it than on Monday Night Raw with millions of fans watching? Hand it over to the new Universal Champion. Just my opinion. And maybe they couldn't show it because Cody's bus is sponsored by that vodka company, whatever it is. I think it's Wheatley. I don't remember. I'm going from that, our number 6. One of those candies your grandma gave you. And if you're of a certain age, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. She would either have them individually wrapped or in a bowl of candies in her living room. I think they're called ribbon candy. Or sometimes it'd be fancy and she'd have those strawberry candies that are packed in a cellophane strawberry. Maybe The Rock is getting into the point where he's considering himself the grandfather of the company, so he's going to give his grandson, Cody Rhodes, some hard candy. Speaking of hard candy, our number 5, this ain't hard candy, but it's a hard drug. The Rock handed him some Molly. This is another one of those things that would just be absurd to think of The Rock and Cody Rhodes hanging out doing Molly together, listening to EDM music. So therefore, it makes a perfect sense for it to be on here. It kind of felt like the movies where you see a drug deal that's being done in a high school where they just shake hands and pass on the drugs. That's what made me think of this. That's why it's on my list. Go from that, our number 4 is a signed UMD Doom movie. Again, just another one of those things. It's probably one of Rock's least loved movies, and you could easily see him having boxes and boxes of it in his closet that he was giving out to friends, which makes sense why he would give it out to Cody Rhodes. I'll go from that, our number 3, pocket sand. And if you don't get the reference by the meme or the TV show King of the Hill, it's what Dale Gribble would pull out of his pocket and throw in people's eyes to distract him when he's in a fight with them, kind of like a heel manager does with powder in wrestling. So yeah, pocket sand would be a perfect idea. Maybe he gave him a bag of pocket sand for Cody Rhodes to bring around so he can save himself from being ambushed like The Rock has done to him a couple times. I'm going from that, our number 2. The Rock handed him a mixtape. Now, whether that be his newest hot release with The Rock spitting fire bars over trap beats, or The Rock handing him a mixtape of love songs that define their relationship, either way, the idea of him handing out a mixtape to Cody Rhodes just seemed really funny to me. That's why it's on here, and that's why I put it in my list. I just thought the concept, and we've probably all been there, or a lot of people have been there, where you go to like a concert, or even sometimes you go to a local convenience store and you got the guy outside trying to sell you his mixtape or give you a free version of their mixtape to promote themselves. That's what it came into my head. That's why it's on my list. Now, before I get to my number one, we do a thing here on our top 10s called the best of the rest. Basically things that were thought of for the list but didn't quite make it. First up, a room key. This kind of goes along the lines with the Promise Ring and the Molly and maybe the Loving mixtape. There's a lot of sexual tension that was felt in that, and not on purpose, obviously. They're both married men, but hey, you never know, they may have extramarital stuff they do. This is just another one of those things that's just funny. Thinking of The Rock slyly handing him a room key or card or whatever the hell they're called now. I still call them a room key, even though that most hotels use like a credit card type thing now. So him sliding that to Cody Rhodes for later on just seems really funny to me. Last but not least, on the best of the rest, a crisp, clean $2 bill. This is another one of those things, kind of like the grandma giving you candy, that your grandparents or your uncle or your aunt or someone in your family might have slipped into a birthday card when you were a little kid, and you just thought it was the coolest thing because you'd never seen a $2 bill at that point. Which I don't know how long $2 bills have been out of circulation, but it's been at least since I was a kid, because I know when I was a kid they were kind of rare, and then they kept getting rarer and rarer. So it'd be a kind of thing that like an uncle might think would be a cool gift for you if they don't know what you want, kind of like The Rock maybe here. That being said, this is the point where I normally say, if you think I put something too high, something too low, or left something off the list altogether, let me know in the comments. While you're there, smash the like button, share the video, subscribe if you haven't. And if you see where it says join, that's how you become a member. Becoming a member definitely helps me out. Now, my opinion of the number one thing, I think Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson handed to Cody Rhodes on Monday Night Raw a thumb drive with the entire season 3 of Dragon Ball Z in Turkish. Turkish dub, that is, by the way. And again, this was just another one of those things I found absurd. This was one of those things like when it was popular before streaming came along for people to put files on a thumb drive to share them with their friends. You would get a friend that would say, hey, I downloaded the newest season of Dragon Ball Z, and then they would hand it to you on a thumb drive, or I downloaded Breaking Bad, here's a thumb drive with it if you want to watch it. And then you would go home and you would watch the 480p or whatever low resolution version of it was. The reason I added the Turkish thing on there is because if you remember procuring those things, every now and again you would get something weird. You would get something that was not in your native language or not in the native language it said. Sometimes you would get something that's totally not what you were looking for. And I'll leave that to all the people that know exactly what I mean by that. You would get some files that were just, wow, still scarred in my brain to this day. But that would be the kind of thing like if I was going to my job and I seen one of my friends and I was passing him off something, that's how I would do it. I would give it to him just like The Rock did. So that's one of the things that came into my mind, and I thought it was the funniest, to be honest with you. That's why I put it at number one. I hope you found it funny as well. I hope you found this list kind of amusing, or at least got a couple chuckles out of it. I know I did. I'm kind of laughing here and you probably could hear it in my voice. If you made it here to the end, let me know an idea of what you think The Rock may have given Cody Rhodes. Put it down here in the comments. The more absurd, the better. The funnier, the better. Let's keep it going. Let's get a million of these things that he could have given. With all that being said, my name is George Coles, and this has been another Heel Heat Top 10.